All right, looking at a daily chart of the Nasdaq. Welcome to my daily review. And you can see that the Nasdaq, after pulling back from July 19th to August 18th, this 1 month pullback of 9%, now has made like a V-shaped recovery. We had the pink rally day, and then yesterday the follow-through day, and today we had a follow-up day to the follow-through day. And if you look at this, the optimistic person would think, wow, we're just gonna, rally right back through the 50, which we've already done, and then make new highs above the 14,446, and that's quite possible. There's a couple sayings on Wall Street. One is there's the quick and the dead, right? Either you're early or you're late. And there's another one that the fools rush in. So one of the two will apply here, and I'll let you know in a couple weeks which ones it is. But right now it looks like pretty positive move here for the Nasdaq. It's the first time that it has closed above the 14,000 level since August 1st. So that's another significant addendum, a note today. It's 14,019 that it closed today. Now it's let me get this straight here. 1.4% above its 50 simple moving average and 2.1% above both its 10 and 21 EMA. Now, people ask about the power trend. The low of the day has to be above the 21, which is this little pink or magenta, whatever color line you want to call it. The low of the day has to be above the 21 for 10 days. So today is day 1. So you got 9 more days to go. But it looks pretty positive. I don't want to put a damper on anything, but I just take things one day at a time. We had a follow-through day yesterday. Today was a nice solid day. But in the coming, maybe not the coming days, but next week, we should start to see more of these follow-through type days where you're up 1% with good volume. So just keep your eye on that. Anyway, I don't trade the indexes. By the way, the S&P looks, very similar. I don't even want to show this because I don't trade the S&P, but you can see the undercut of the 50 and the rally back above. And we're seeing a lot of stocks that look just like that. I'm going to get to the stocks. I'm going to start with Apple. Why not? Apple's the big kahuna, and this one did, like the Nasdaq and the S&P, it undercut the 50 and rallied above it today, and it closed, 0.6% above its 50. So nice move for Apple. And it just looks to me like it's forming a base here and setting up before, probably the next earnings report for Apple, or maybe the launch of their iPhone, the next iPhone. You never know what's going to be a catalyst, but definitely trading above the 50 is a positive. Another stock that I wanted to look at of the Magnificent Seven is Tesla, because it had a nice move and it tried to rally through its 50 as well, but got rejected there today. It's right there about 257, right? 256.66. So it's right there at the 50, and it wouldn't take much to rally through it. A little bit of resistance is to be expected. It's had a nice move since that low of 212, which is not that long ago. That was that pink rally day, right? So Tesla looks okay. Meta, again, a lot like Tesla here, traded below the 50 and now can't get back through its 50 SMA there. It's 1.2%. It closed 1.2% below the 50. So Meta has some work to do as well to get through that resistance area. Another stock that I want to look at is Google, because it's on our ready list. And this one, it's set up in this base, traded sideways down at the 21, found support. Now it's pulling away from its base here. I still think, for me, it's actionable, but it's just a really strong stock. It's one of the strongest of those Magnificent Seven, Grade 8, Divine 9, whatever you want to call them. But anyway, Alphabet's very strong. You could see up $6 this week. So congrats to the longs who took that play there. And the last one would be Amazon. This one held up well too, above the 50. It did not undercut the 50. It found support at the 50. Now it's 2% above. So Amazon holding up well. I'm going to get to, I mentioned all the time that I really don't think we can have a sustained artificial intelligence rally unless we have the semiconductors and the software stocks playing along, at least some of them. And NVIDIA is the kingpin here, and it traded up against 500 today, 499. So I would expect that 500 number to be resistance. But to me, I know people think I'm crazy, but this ascending base, the buy point there for me is 480, 88. It's the high point in that ascending base. So call me crazy, but we'll see what happens with NVIDIA. It has, it's up 300% this year. One of the stronger stocks, but they've been reporting earnings like, we've never seen this type of, triple digit earnings from a, $1.2 trillion company. So I'm going to hang on there to NVIDIA. And then some of the other semiconductor stocks, once again, there's the undercut of the 50 and the rally back above. Very common chart pattern that we see here, just like the indexes. That's on semiconductor. This is a manufacturing stock. Another one of the equipment stocks is ACLS, which I like a lot. This one undercut the 50, rallied above, and I think that 184.41 is very intriguing, and it crossed above it today. So that looks good to Mr. C here. All right, what other ones do we have? Oh yeah, Applied Material reported a strong quarter. This one, once again, undercut the 50. Now it's rallied back above. This one looks good as well. And the other one I wanted to show is AEHR, because it's a swing trader's dream. If you can tolerate it. It has these big wild moves, pulls back, you buy it there, and then it comes up, you sell it, and then it pulls back, you buy it. Now it's up here. Probably take out the 54.10, and it'll be time to get rid of it before it makes another dive down below its 50. That's just the way that one trades. So entertaining stock if you like that type of thing. It's not my cup of tea, but I know a lot of people who do like it. Anyway, some of the software names, I talked about, you need software and semiconductors, I believe, for this artificial intelligence theme bull market to sustain itself. And this is AAPL, one that I completely whiffed on. I don't even know what they do. Doesn't matter. They've gapped higher 3 times this year. So this thing's starting to look like ELF from last year. Definitely one to watch, maybe on a pullback or something. But like I say, I've missed it. So congrats to the longs there. That one still looks good to me. You can see it's just had this brutal sell-off. The water slide at the water park, right? Or the ski slope, Squaw Valley or whatever. And now it's starting to make its way back up. So yeah, congrats to the longs there. That's a heck of a move here in 2023. Another one that is performing well is Splunk. They had strong earnings. You can see the base pattern here. Well, maybe I should show the weekly. It's just a big sell-off. I mean, it looks like a base, but then it slides lower, base slides lower, but eventually it stopped going lower, and now it's rallying higher here. This is out of a stage 1B base, because this is 1A, yeah, 1A, 1B, but it gapped higher on earnings, and now it's had like, what, I don't know, 6-7 days in a row of just trading higher. So congrats to the longs there. That's a heck of a move. And this is the type of activity you'll see in a bull market or an uptrending market, where you break out on earnings and trade higher. In a bear market, you break out and it just sells right off and fills that gap there. So it's another healthy sign for this, for the bulls, for this current market. MNDY Monday. This has been on our watch list before, and I took it off. It sliced its 50, and now it's rallied back above. So you might see it back on our watch list. You can see it's just making another base. This is 1B again. Here's 1A and 1B, kind of like, Splunk. They're just starting to tread water and trying to pull away, emerging from after this massive sell-off. This is, years of selling off here. What is this, 2021? Yeah, it's almost 2 years here. And so it's going to take some time for these things to get rid of what is called the overhead supply or whatever, and start having the buyers, dominate the sellers here. Another one that I like, GLBE. This one we had on our ready list prior. It was about like $34 or something here, and it broke out and ran up, up to 40 something, 45. That's a nice move. And so, when they move that far, I mean, you got to expect some profit taking. And so that's what's happening here. And it's just forming a base. it undercut its 50 and now it's rallying back through and just forming a base. I would expect it to get back up to that 45.27 level, and maybe it'll reappear on our ready list sooner than later. Palantir is another one. Somebody called it the Messi of AI. I'm not going to make that comparison. Messi's a great football player, but Palantir undercut the 50, and now today it rallied back through. So just kind of mimicking what the markets are doing. And if you don't think the indexes play a lot of impact on your trading or your success in the stock market, you can just tell by this, the Nasdaq sell-off. Hard to make money that way, but now the index is starting to heal, and now we're geniuses, right? Again, right? So the indexes have a lot to do with the success in the market. I always say there's two components to being successful in the market. That's identifying the market direction, because you have to have that direction with you, and then stock selection, because not all stocks are going up now. You have to be in the right ones still. I'll call it a stock pickers market. How about that? Fastly is one that was on our ready list, and you could see the base on base pattern, which is the ascending base, and now it's trading higher every darn day recently, and it's getting a little bit away. I took it off, our ready list here because it's getting a little extended. If you bought it at 20 or below 20, fine, but here at 23.5, it's chasing a little bit. Make it come back to that 10 EMA. That's what I'm going to do, which is 2143 today, but it's 9.4% above that green 10 EMA. So congrats to the longs there. That's been a great rebound story. All right, I want to talk a little bit about Visa and MasterCard, because they said they're going to raise fees, and you can see this one's set up in a base here. And it had the double bottom base, which is stage 1, then it had this flat base, which is stage 2, and now it's in another flat base, which is 1C. This is 1B, this is 1C. So it's still kind of in a stage 1 base here. Visa can't get out of its own way, but it's up 1.5% this week. I thought it was going to break out today with that news, but it did not. But MasterCard did, and it's really showing strength. It's flexing muscles while Visa is still in the weight room. Anyway, MasterCard, congrats to the longs there. That's a heck of a move for MasterCard. Anyway, I'm going to go to my favorite space. That's retail. And the ELF today made a new high above that 137.48. Yeah, made up to 139.75. So that's a nice move. Classic, textbook move here for ELF as it pulls back to the 50, finds support as it tends to do, and this one stayed down there a long time, but the market was correcting at the time, and now it's really starting to flex its muscles. They made a nice acquisition yesterday, and Wall Street, I guess, likes it, or investors like it. Celsius is another one in the retail space. This one made a new high today. And I talked about how it changed character after the most recent earnings report. And now it's finding support at this green line, the 10 EMA, getting a little away from that 10 EMA. But that's what strong stocks do. They don't give you a chance. It's not just going to sit there and set up a base, make it easy for you. It's going to make it hard. And so Celsius looking good, up 6.6% this week. So not a bad 3 days for Celsius longs. Another one that I wanted to look at is Cocoa. That one's on our ready list. It's going to take some time, it looks like, to just kind of handle out here, right? We got this consolidation here, and it's just handling out. Probably just going to grind higher right now, 3.9% above its 10 EMA. That one looks good as well. Then Abercrombie and Fitch, I was a little worried about this one, but the last couple of days got some momentum here, and today made a nice move to make a new high there above the old high of 53.02. High today was 53.98. So congrats to the longs there. That was out of a cup, stage 1 base there, and looking good. And it's probably going to change character and just trade along with its 10 EMA for a little bit. They had a nice earnings report. So I'm going to move on from the retail stocks over to the HVAC. I know this drives people crazy. How can these air conditioning stocks be doing so well? These are the kind of the quiet type stocks that are just easy to hold. Fix was on our watch list back here around 150, and it's just grinding higher now, 183. Nobody talks about them. They're not sexy, but they're doing well. This is Modine. This one did jump on earnings, and that's a move of 13% with heavy volume. So don't ignore that one. It did pull back to the 21 and then resumed its uptrend. CARR, this spinoff here, pulled back to its 50 recently found support and is now trending higher. You got to recognize that it pulled back during the market correction, so it was supported at its 50, which is doing better than most. Okay, so CARR looks good to me. I'm going to go to the oil pit, another one that drives people crazy. OII, this is a stage 1 base, and I got to look at the weekly here because you can see this is a nice consolidation pattern that forms a cup shape, and then it pulls back to its moving average here on lighter volume, and hasn't broken out yet, so I'm kind of waiting for that. You can see the volume drying up on the weekly here as it makes this little bull wedge pattern here on the pullback, and it's popped 7% this week, and that's definitely one to acknowledge and notice. I think it's got room to run. I don't want to say anything too provocative there, but yes, it looks good. Permian Resources, this one was on our watch list. I know some people, in my group at mcstockcharts.com, the subscribers, and got into it, and they contacted me on Twitter. So they got it below 12 and now it's over 14. So that's a good percentage move there. So congrats to those longs at PR. And if you just look at the the weekly, you can see it's shown the ability to move, these big moves. Yeah, it pulls back and makes these big moves, trades sideways, makes a move, and now goes sideways for a long time. It's a long consolidation period. Now it's starting to move out. So there's no telling, no reason why it couldn't make another one of these moves. So I'm just going to hang on to that one. And it's a small enough hold that I don't, it's not going to really bother me that much if it goes down. CPE, oh yeah, our friend Ed Carson said, Marty, this is the old porcupine trade. He calls it a porcupine because it goes up and down like little porcupine quills, but it's got a point of interest here at 38.58. Touched it 3 times there, and Ed's got a point. I kind of like that type of action. Also, yeah, okay. It's not a leader in the oil and gas exploration space. How about that? But it does look pretty good. XPRO has been on our watch list for a while. You could see why. Nice cup with a handle, cup pattern, handle pullback, decreasing volume. So if I go to the weekly, it's a little more pronounced there. You could see the cup, 22 weeks with 35% depth, and now it's just kind of handling out. So you're gonna have to be patient with that one. The construction stocks, power, Quanta Services, PWR, made a new high today and had that 206.43. Once it got above that, I like that. Looks pretty good to me. Had the 3 weeks, 4 weeks, or even 5 weeks type pattern there in this little flat base. So to me, power looks good. It's jumping out of another base. So congrats to the longs there. That one looks pretty good. PRIM, talked about this one quite a bit. Nobody cares. Primoris Services, heavy construction. You can see the deep sell-off, consolidation, cup with handle, moved out of that area. Had a little 3 weeks tight. Very strong stock. Thinly traded here. $35 stock with only 265,000 shares, but it's got strong earnings and sales, so I'm not going to ignore that one. EME, another construction building maintenance stock, making new highs today. I like new highs, so EME looks good to me. And the last one, STRL, this is one that I do own, and it gapped up on earnings, pulled back to the 10. And now just kind of trading higher along with its 10 EMA. Got above 80 today, closed above 80. So that one looks good for a quiet hold. Don't tell anybody. Shh, keep the goodies to yourself. The last group that I'm going to cover is insurance. surprising me. Somebody told me, I think it was Doc. Doc told me about this stock a while ago, and I acknowledged it, but I ignored it, if that makes sense. Pulled back to its 50 recently. This is during the market pullback, right? And this thing's still trending higher. Now that the market's starting to get its act together, this one's making new highs. So congrats, Doc. That one looks good. Ryan, this one gapped higher, man. This one, whew, this is a little bit of an IPO. Came out in what, September 21. Long period of consolidation. Now you can see it broke out this week, 5% move out of this long consolidation period. So that one looks good as well. If you need an insurance stock, you want to be like Warren Buffett, Ryan could suit you. And my favorite ticker symbol, BRO, Brown and Brown. This one made a new high today as well. These are slower moving stocks. You got to look at the weekly here, and you can see the long consolidation. And now it's moved out of its basing area. So congrats to the longs there. That's it for me today. Thank you for watching. And I have, in honor of the great Steve Jobs, one more thing, and that is tonight's earnings reports. Very positive for tomorrow. This is Salesforce, crushed earnings, raised guidance. This is part of the Dow Jones. So a move like that through the 50 tomorrow is very positive. Like I said, we're going to need software stocks and semiconductor stocks, and this AI theme is going to have legs and be sustainable. Otherwise, the bears are going to win the day here. So these things do need to get going. And Salesforce had a terrible year in 2022. This is a dog of the Dow right here. You can see this thing just straight down all year. And this year's had a very strong year. So congrats to Mark Benioff and those at Salesforce celebrating in San Francisco tonight. Let me see. The other one was the other good one that I liked was OKTA. They had a fantastic quarter, and you can see it's been trading along its moving averages. I think all moving averages are right here within a percent of each other. I'm talking about the 10, 21, and the 200. Look at that. Even the 50 is only 3.2% above it. So it should be a strong move tomorrow. It's up 10% after hours after a strong report. CrowdStrike had a great report. It was down earlier, now it's up. I would think it would be up. I saw it down. They had a strong report as well. Beat and raise guidance. Yeah, really strong quarter for those. And I have some of my former students who work there, so congrats to you guys. That looks like a good quarter. And yeah, Fortinet now looks like an anomaly, and Palo Alto Networks and CrowdStrike are just taking market share. Another one that I liked this afternoon was VEEV Systems. VEEV is computer software medical, and it's up only 2% now, but it needs to get through that 50 tomorrow, undercut and rally type of action. So hopefully we can do that. And I saw my friend Charlie Giancarlo on CNBC this afternoon. He's a protege of John Chambers at Cisco. His stock has been kind of wonky here. You think they're going to get it together, and you can see it had this flat base pattern, and hopefully it can rally back through that level for the longs there of computer data storage stock, Pure Storage. And I think with that earnings tonight, maybe you'll ignite this stock to rally through the 50 here and get above that 39.19 area. Only time will tell. Thank you for watching. And one thing we do at MC Stock Charts is we never give up.